Freedom Street Garage, welcome back. My name is Alex, and I'm here today to tell you all about this Lamborghini Huracán EVO that we're giving away with $50,000 in cash. So let's jump right into the build sheet. All right, guys, starting out up front, the Lamborghini Huracán is visibly an aggressive car. It's got some extremely aggressive lines. It's extremely sharp. The headlights are very slim and very small, yet extremely bright. And it all just kind of keeps that whole aerodynamic cue going throughout the car. You've got this extremely aggressive front splitter that's super low to the ground. All of the grills and side vents are like completely open, so the air is going straight into those auxiliary coolers and radiators. And of course up front, on the cars we give away, typically the engine is under the hood, but on this Lamborghini, it has a mid-mounted engine. So up front, you just have your trunk, AKA the frunk. Not a lot of space up front. It does have a little bit of room to store a couple things. You've got a couple of storage pouches here that have, your tire repair kits. This one has the tire inflation kit, as well as a pair of white leather Lamborghini gloves, which is a pretty cool touch. And your tow hook. Zip this up and close it so we can move on to the wheels and tires, as well as the brakes, because this car has some pretty massive brakes. For wheels on the Huracán, we went with HRE P101 SC forged monoblock wheels. These wheels are really cool because they don't take too flashy of an approach while still being HRE wheels on a Lamborghini Huracán, which is no cheap feat. It's a huge upgrade for a car like this. It's at least $15,000 to get a set of wheels on this car, and they're also wrapped in these Pirelli tires. But then behind the wheels and tires, we have these massive 6-piston monoblock calipers with massive ventilated rotors. And I gotta say, this might be the most intricate rotor setup I've seen on a car from the factory. These aren't the carbon ceramics, these are the steel brakes, but this rotor design is insane. And in back, the brakes are bigger than most cars have for front brakes. So the rear brakes on the Huracán are 4-piston, but they're huge. Shout out to Lamborghini for putting solid, amazing brakes on this car. They aren't the optional carbon ceramics, but the steel brakes are arguably better. All right, guys, let's talk performance of the Huracán. And to do that, we must open the hood, which is in the back. This V10 is truly a sight to see. You can see that intake manifold up top, it's insane. Lamborghini even puts the firing order of the engine right here on a massive plaque that has the Italian flag colors right below it. That's pretty cool. So more about the V10. This V10 is a direct injection, dry sump oiling, 5.2 liter, 630 horsepower naturally aspirated V10. This is the V10 that's shared with the Audi R8. However, for the Lamborghini Huracán, it does get a bump in power. And for the Huracán EVO specifically, it gets a slightly larger bump in power. So this car is insanely fast. It sounds insanely good with that V10. Connected to that V10 is a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which is an amazing transmission. It's a great balance of being aggressive, yet the most engaging form of automatic transmission that you can get. It's great. It's a great combination. You also get a limited slip differential, and all of that is behind the driver and passenger, which basically changes the entire balance of the car. The rear fascia on this thing is totally different for the EVO. You get a different bumper, different grills, and one of the biggest parts of the back end of this car is that the exhaust tips move from the bottom to center exit style. This is really cool because this is the first of the Huracans that got this, and other Lamborghini Huracans after this got this design as well, but this was the first to do the center mounted exhaust on the Huracán, which is really sick, especially if you upgrade the exhaust and you spit flames. It looks really freaking cool. All right, should we move on into the interior of the Huracán? There's a lot of stuff to go over in there, and I think we should just hop into the interior. Inside of the Lamborghini Huracán EVO, this is an aggressive cockpit. It's straight to the point. It's very fighter jet style with all of the individual switches for your window controls, the nose lift, the hazards, the traction control, auto start stop. All of that is in a row right here, and it's all fighter jet style. You've also got your start stop button underneath this shield. So you lift it and you press this to start it up. Moving on to the steering wheel, we've got a very nice leather wrapped flat bottom steering wheel. This is nice because it has the paddle shifters mounted on the column instead of being mounted on the steering wheel. and they feel like they're extremely high quality. Also on the steering wheel, you've got the turn signal that you press one way to go right, you press one way to go left, and you press it in the center to cancel. And if you've ever ridden a motorcycle, you know that that's basically exactly what comes off of a motorcycle. Ironically enough, the same company that owns Lamborghini makes Ducati, so that's kind of a funny, you know, little nod to that there. Moving on to another feature that the Huracan steering wheel has, it's this red toggle switch. This allows you to switch between all the driving modes the car has, which is Strada, Sport, and Corsa. Strada means street in Italian. That's basically just for normal driving. Sport is for when you want to take it out and do some spirited driving. The exhaust is louder, the suspension's tightened up a bit, the steering and transmission are sharper. Then Corsa means race in Italian. What that's going to do is reduce body roll. It's going to tighten the dampers up a bit, the Magneto-rheological dampers, which means that the car has magnetic ride control. And that allows the car to use its sensors to send data to its control module and then basically change the dampening for the positioning of the road and the driving conditions, which is very cool because it makes this thing have exceptional ride control and quality. This digital dash changes when you go in different driving modes such as Strada, Sport, or Corsa. Completely different layout per driving mode. This car also has a 10-inch infotainment screen, which allows you to have your Bluetooth, your music, your nav, everything you would need to control is in this screen right here, which is very nice because previous generations of the Huracan, well, not previous generations, but previous years of the Huracan had a more button-focused like kind of display that was only in the screen in the digital dash, and you got the buttons right here. However, right here you have this central 10-inch touchscreen to control it all separate from your driving, which is very nice. I did mention before in this row of switches, you have your nose lift switch here. So basically pulling this switch will raise the front end of the car in any situation that you want so that you don't damage the front because the front sits extremely low. So you can raise it a few inches to clear, you know, steeper driveways or speed bumps that might be a little bit aggressive. It's a very nice touch. You're not able to push it down to lower it. You have to pull it again. So you pull it to raise it and you also pull it to lower it. It's kind of quirky because the window switches are down and up, and you'd think that this would be pushed down to lower it and push up to raise it, but it's not. So that's one little quirk about this car's interior. One other option this Lamborghini Huracan was spec'd with is an additional $500 smokers pack. So you get this Lamborghini branded ashtray that goes in your cup holder so you can smoke in your Lamborghini Huracan if that's what you want to do in your $200,000+ Lamborghini sports car that's made by Volkswagen. All of that stuff collectively makes this Lamborghini Huracan an insane package straight out of the box. And we're giving it away to one of you lucky people. So if you want to win this Lamborghini Huracan EVO plus $50,000 in cash, head over to freedomstreetgarage.com. You can become a member to automatically get entered every month, or you can pick up some merch and automatically get entries towards winning this car and this cash. Best of luck and thanks for watching.